So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, sunshines. Welcome to another episode of Every Business Owner Has a Story. I'm super excited to bring someone from halfway around the world, someone I've never actually met in person, but feel like is a business bestie in my inner circle. Please give a very warm welcome to Nestene Botha. So I always want to know, this is the first question I always want to know. Tell me how on earth you became a business owner, because Nestene has both an accounting business and a background in accounting, but she is also a co-founder of an incredible community. You see it featured here a lot in this place called Explore Protech Entrepreneurial Haven. But did you imagine this would be your path?
Never in my wildest dreams. I also wasn't prepared for it. So I basically became a business owner because some really crappy things happened to me in life. It was working my dream job. It was absolutely amazing. I was going, I had my whole life planned out how I was going to progress in this career path, and then things just didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. So I literally went to work the one day, and then I got back to my, now ex-husband, and I was like, guess what, honey? I'm starting a business because I just quit my job.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. That is how I became a business owner for the first time.
Okay, so I'm curious, when you drop this major bomb of I just can't take it anymore, did you get support? Or do people think you had lost your marbles?
Yeah, people pretty much thought like I was going crazy. They were like, what? No, please tell me you're looking for another job. And I'm like, no, well, actually, I'm not. Like, I feel like I should give entrepreneurship a try. Like, I could be good at this. And they're like, oh.
This is important to know, because I think sometimes we really have this expectation that the moment we make these really big declarations on our journey, that the crowd goes wild. And the truth is, most of us don't have that crowd in our inner circle the day we start. That's actually one of the key reasons that I founded this community back in 2018, because I knew that the vast majority of people that I was now going to be surrounding myself with didn't have community, didn't have support. And if you don't have it, it can erode your dreams very quickly and start to shift them to an unrecognizable, from a big thing to I might read a book really quickly. Like the down gear shift makes your head spin. And thank God you have an airbag. And this airbag was this place. It was the community that I had first founded, because I said, I want you to know you're not one of the crazy ones, because there was something in you. And I'm curious if you know what it is that said, I'd be good at this. What is it that you saw in yourself that you thought would be the skills, the mindset that said, I could do this? Because that had to be an inner fire if you didn't get a cheering applause when you made that big announcement.
Yeah, for sure. So there was a huge inner fire. Basically, I took a look at my work ethic. And I mean, I'm from corporate accounting. Like, I was running like 7 audits at one time, working 18-hour days. I was like regular, like 24/7. And I just took a look at this, and I was like, if I can work this hard for myself, I'd like imagine where I could go. Like, why am I doing this for someone else? They're benefiting so much. They're not thankful. Like, they don't even see it. Like, let me do this for myself and see where it goes. So that's basically what I held on to. I was like, yeah, I am good enough. I am going to do this, and I am going to prove all of you wrong.
And take numbers and pictures on the journey. And that's an important thing. This is key. And I love the fact that you did have that tenacity to say, I am crazy enough to do this. And I actually always thought that it was a risk diversification strategy. And it sounds like we shared that together, because the risk wasn't going back in corporate and giving somebody else control. The risk was, I know myself and I don't have a quit gene in me. I know what my work ethic is. And yet you take the leap. And I want you to walk me through a little bit about What are some of the things you felt you were so unprepared for, you realized you were completely unprepared for in the early days of the first venture? Because there are lots of icebergs, there's lots of, wow, it takes more than an idea to be successful. What for you were some of those holy dinos that came out of the woodwork?
Like literally like 90% of what an entrepreneur does, like I was not prepared to do. I was like, what? This is part of working for yourself. This sucks. I was not prepared to multitask that much. Like I was like, I don't know, like, when you go into this, like, you're accepting that you don't have a receptionist anymore, you don't have a secretary, there are no support people, it's just you. And yet it's still a surprise when you're in the job for like the first 6 weeks and you're like, the phone is ringing, I'm trying to do the actual work, I have a client meeting, like my emails are going wild, like, and I need to pick up a package, like, how is this possible? So that was massive for me. Like, I didn't expect that. Also, the fact that people don't always pay on the date that you invoice them was a massive surprise to me, which is very weird because I am from the accounting field. Like, I know this, right? But again, it's like different when you're doing your own cash flow planning. So yeah, that was HR was incredibly difficult for me, like figuring out how to scale my business, how to hire in people, how to trust someone, how to delegate. I didn't have any of those skills. I thought I did, but apparently in the real world I didn't really. So that was I think those were like my top three, like, wow, business owners need to do this crap. Like, really? This is
it does take a really, it's that big shift again from I know the theory, but now I'm living it every day. And this is an interesting one because I heard this fascinating comment over the weekend with somebody who talked about when you're ready to scale. And I'm going to talk about the story of you and I in scale and how the light bulb went off. Because when you are ready to scale, you have to realize you must give yourself a promotion. Because if you want to be, whether you call yourself a CEO, you call yourself your managing director, you call yourself whatever you want, chief poopah, whatever you want. The difference is that person probably doesn't answer the phone. That person at the top of a big corporate, anything more than one is a big corporate when you're a solopreneur, doesn't do that. But you need to give yourself the promotion to say, I'm expanding, because if I spend all my hours doing this, I can't deliver over here. And that's one of the things I know. I see a lot of businesses implode because they stop doing the bit they love, because they do other bits that are necessary, like chasing for the payment, like planning the meetings, like following up on the proposals, making the proposals. And if you really just want to do the service delivery, you are better as an employee. And yet when you were saying, I've got now a knowledge to give myself a promotion and start to build team, it takes a fundamental shift. And guys, when Nestene and I first met, it was because a power partner of mine, who is a great friend, Betty Ann Ellis, we were both looking to grow internationally, and she had crossed paths with Nestene. And we got to go to attend an event with the Explore Protech tribe. And we talked about, what's your big vision? And we talked about plot twists and how life can be really unexpected. And one of the questions that came up was, how do I know I'm ready to scale? Or what does scale look like? And I said to you, Nestene, I don't know if you remember this, what is it that you vision? And you said, I envision this community of people who support each other from all around the world. And one day we're going to be global. Because your business at that time was very focused on South Africa and places in closer geography in that continent. And I said, Nestene, someday is today. Because I'm here because another global person invited me here. And I think at the time you were like, wow, how did we get here? And because you had seen this in your mind further away, and it was actually already happening. And so you started your first business on the accounting side. Why and where did the idea of starting Explore Protech, how did it come about? Why did you think it was needed? It's a very big commitment that you've made in time and resources.
I did not think that it was needed. I literally started it by accident, like everything else I I'm doing at the moment. So literally, Explore Protech was I was running my accounting firm at the time. Had a small team, about 4 of us, and COVID hit, and we had about 80 clients in the firm, and they just like started calling, and I was giving them like so much, like a lot of what they wanted to hear was just like, it's gonna be okay, like we just need to like relook at the strategy, like let's just look at the strategy and plan for how we're gonna get through this, then we will get through this. It's just strategy. But I couldn't do that with like 80 clients like all at once. It was going to drive me insane. So I basically had to look at my client list, and I was like, statistically speaking, looking at events like this that have maybe happened in the past, about 50% of these people are not going to make it if there's not some type of intervention. And where like my firm couldn't afford to take a 50% cash flow hit and still keep paying everybody that's on board. And if 50% of the world's small business owners are now going to go out of business, like where on earth are we going to find new clients? Like this new world that we're going to all survive in is going to be horrible. Like I don't feel like living in it. So I went to Peter, who's a teamwork specialist, and I basically shared like my fears and my concerns. And I was just ranting at him because at that point in time, he was actually helping me with the teams in my business, because that's the part where I really struggled. Like I literally brought him in just to work with the actual people, because I'm one of those like crazy entrepreneurs. I was like, I don't think I had to make a mind shift in order to get to scaling. I literally wanted to scale like 3 months after I started. I was like, I am not doing this. But the getting the scaling right was where I got stuck. But so Peter took a look at my client list, and he was like, but Nestene, you have business coaches, you have marketers, you have people, like you don't have to be the only one helping these people through their strategy. Like people can do that for each other. Let's just put them in touch with each other. We can create like a WhatsApp group of some sorts. We call it a coffee shop, so it's a safe space, and they can start like talking to each other. We're going to encourage them to support each other, and let's just see how that goes. And it went very well. 3 months later, Peter was like, the results that we've seen in this community, why should he go back to work? Like he'd accidentally with me created something that was so magical and so needed and so incredibly amazing at accelerating entrepreneurial success stories that we just had to stay and look after it. So Peter didn't go back to work, and I outsourced all of the work in my original accounting firm. And we decided to just take care of this baby because it was producing what the world needed at that time. So yeah, that's how we accidentally founded Explore Protech.
I love it because this is always the thing that I think we overthink. We wait for the perfect idea, and we think that it's going to, I don't know, just suddenly one day we're going to get it. And suddenly it's like, actually, this is happening now. And to recognize there's a need. And that's always the best way to start something in a business place. I think sometimes we always think the need is evident, but the evidence is sometimes so obvious that you can't see it. And I think there's great kudos to the both of you to say, okay, well, why don't we start something and let the momentum build? But it's one thing where you've been very much in control of the build and control of what you call it scale or you call it vision. You're keeping true to the principles. Tell me what that road looks like, because it's very quickly, sometimes companies run into this challenge where they run out of, it goes out of control. And it can very quickly because of either shiny objects or chasing fast cash or letting the wrong voices amplify. But you guys have been very strategic about this. Talk to me about some of the joys of that and some of the challenges that has brought.
So it's a challenge for me to keep anything, including myself, under control most days. So I going to be straight up. This this company, like I've experienced the out of control business because that was literally my first business in the scaling process. Like at one point in time, oh my goodness, I had like independent contractors and we had internal employees and we had people that I was like hiring on a commission basis, and all of those people, like none of them were actually doing what needs to be done in the business in order to make it function. Like I was still doing most of it, all of it, and it was just such an intense time. So I remember when Explore Protech got to that place where it's like, okay, now it's a business and now it's scaling. I was so scared. I was like scared out of my mind because I know like I am not strong at controlling stuff. I am the visionary. I come up with ideas, I overwhelm people, and then we're all happy about it. Okay, that's me. But that's where it was very important for me to recognize that I literally feel like this is the best move I've ever made in my entrepreneurial journey. Was I pulled in a co-founder that had the exact skills that I lacked, and I've been learning so much from him. And then at that point in time, what was really crucial was for me to actually go to him and say, I've experienced this before in business. My first business, I literally built to 60 clients in 3 months. You know, it was an out of control scaling process. Like if this thing doesn't go the way, like these are the risks we're looking at. Help. And from there, Peter has been so good to just keep us on track and to keep like the end vision in mind and help us like navigate on that road. One of the things that Peter also did, so I know for a fact it's not only me that have done this in entrepreneurship and been successful because of it, is he pulled people into our journey. Key people like Mr. Stephen Levy and Stephen Westwood, like literally Renee Bracer, like Marlon August, they adopted us almost from like being a 3-month-old business. You know, we were like, we just started and we had Somerville by our side. And that's where I feel like Peter was brilliant about thinking about, we almost built the whole thing to scale from the get-go. So like from the get-go, the team was there. They weren't necessarily on the payroll, but they were there and they were involved in the journey. And then now those are the people that we do have on the payroll, which I mean is such a different like experience than I think anyone has ever had before in business. It is amazing to be able to actually trust the people that you work with and to know what you're going to get back when you pay someone a certain amount of money. Like that is, so literally I think that has been, like there's a lot of other things like having those values pinned down, you know, doing your vision work and having like a clear strategy, learning, like you need to like just continuously be learning like everything from all the experts in the entire world, because that's what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
But, and having a good business model, all of those things are secondary though. Like we only got to do all of those things and did it the correct way because we were so vulnerable from the start to be like, these are the things like we're not good at, like find the people that are going to be good at those things and just make sure they are on this journey with us.
Yeah, this is so key, so key. Because I think so. I love the contrast here, because in the first business, and I see this a lot, because we spin and we're excited and we never want to turn clients away. Sometimes we take more clients on than we're capable of physically able to deliver, which is dangerous because that's how you lead to burnout. But as a result of that, you bolt on contractors or people that you outsource, and you don't hire, you don't vet, and you're putting an enormous amount of trust, which is the hardest thing for a solopreneur to give away, is trust in other people. And it can damage your reputation, but it's also, you abdicate responsibility for the learning of it, because you're like, I just need it to go away. So my easiest solution is to outsource it. But often I find in my capacity as a coach, I said, we're outsourcing the wrong things too early. I absolutely want you to have a team. I absolutely know that's where we want to go, but we have to scale it back, because we have to be clear where the gaps are so that we bring in the right people who complement the gap, can teach us, and we trust them to educate and trust them to deliver. And then it becomes a really very different kind of growth cycle. And so I love the fact that you guys were very vulnerable and that you shared that, because the difference between the chaos and the control was I was open about where I knew I needed help. And then I was willing to, equally so important, listen to some guidance, knowing that that's where their skill strength is. And so, wow, this is not only happening faster than it would in chaos, which feels busy but isn't busy, to then saying, imagine if it gets much, much bigger.
That is scary. That is super. I'm still like scared. Like every day I'm scared. That's how fast we're moving and how big things are getting. But it's a fantastic scare. And I just remind myself that I still have those people by my side, you know, that helped me get here. And there's more coming on the journey every single day. So I just want to also highlight, I feel like it is so special the way that Peter built this community, because it's literally everything that I struggle with. Like, that's what it solves. It solves scaling. So yes, Explore Protech is great with helping people from startup to actually get going. But I think a lot of the people don't realize how phenomenal it is at helping you with the scaling process, because literally every single person that we have brought onto the payroll, we've tried out first with energy exchanges. We've seen how they operate. We have worked with them on profit share projects. We've had joint venture experiences. Like, by the time that we are ready to bring them on board with a contract, like, we know for a fact what we're getting, you know? Like, and that is what you need to scale. And it's not just us. I know for a fact there are other businesses in this network that have followed the exact same route and gotten the exact same result, which to me is incredible, because now you have a space where scaling, if you follow the process, almost becomes effortless and risk-free. Where in the beginning, in the first business, without that safe environment, without being able to try out all the different people that you can slot into different processes, it was a massive risk. Like, there was so much risk involved, because it's like that fixed cost coming on board, no matter if you insource, outsource, undersource, oversource, whatever source, like, it's a fixed cost coming on board, right? But in this environment, it's almost like risk-free scaling. Like, try it out until you're ready to move on. And yeah, so how awesome is that? I don't know of another space that exists that does that.
Well, and this is the thing I always think. My own thought is, it's grow your own talent. Because the great thing when you have this really awesome inner circle, and it could be thinking partners, it can be, joint venture partners, it can be people you just, admire and want to be in their energy around, is that, you can start to create something more. We always say, like, we amplify. That's why team is always together, we achieve more. But saying we're sharing a vision, and you can create the talent that you need, because then you're in a safe space to say, imagine if, can we do that? And I certainly know that that's very much a culture that's within the community of entrepreneurs supporting in the Explore Protech tribe. I'm curious, you have had a lot of rapid expansion. You've brought in more cultures from around the world. How has that been an advantage? And what have been some of the surprising light bulbs about playing in other parts of the world?
I think it's better than I ever could have imagined. My entrepreneurial brain just goes wild, because I am the person that spots opportunity. I'm the dreamer, if you want to call me that, the visionary, whatever you want to call it. But like, I can see the opportunities, come up with a plan, and then please, someone else needs to execute the freaking plan. I am not execution. I don't build stuff. I just like dream the whole day. But yeah, for someone like me, again, it's such an awesome space to be in, because you know what, like, our vision is we want to have at least one entrepreneur in every single country around the world, like every single little area in the world even. What that allows us to do is to play with currencies, is to play with different economies, is to literally like look for gaps in the market and exploit them, and then at the same time exploit where the resources are in another market and bring it together. And that gives our entrepreneurs such a massive competitive edge, because we now have people from not only people that like you can trust and you can rely on and you can outsource to, and they're the best at what they do, but also they give you that global advantage. They come with a whole new like set of opportunities from a whole new different economy. Like that is a massive competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are kind of like I expected it to be great. I didn't expect it to be this good. Like, I'm loving it.
I love it. You love it. So I'm curious, as you look, at the journey you've been on, what's the thing you wish you had known or recognized earlier in the journey that would have made the stress level different, the enjoyment higher, or the frustrations significantly different? The one you go, oh, I wish I'd done that sooner, or I wish I'd paid attention to that sign.
Let me see. I think in Explore Protech, it's difficult to, like, I mean, with my first business, there's like literally the whole thing. I wish I'd learned marketing before actually stepping into business. I wish I'd studied sales process. I wish I'd taken the time to figure out that there's a difference between marketing and sales. But I think in Explore Protech itself, Peter and everyone around me has been watching out for every single thing that happens on the journey. So there's not a lot of things that we don't realize, like, up front. So I think with Explore Protech, I wouldn't really have done things that, like, I can't actually think of one thing that I wish we had done differently, like, right up front. Like, I'm super happy with the business model, with how we've rolled it out, with how we've helped people right up front. I think maybe, you know what could have been cool? Like right up front when me and Peter started. So basically we started from less than nothing, like literally like we had debt. We didn't have an income. It was terrible. So yeah, we started at a very low place in life. But we were focusing, we had agreed that we're going to focus on helping people. You know, that was our thing. We need to help these entrepreneurs. Otherwise, tomorrow is going to look even worse than it does today. Like, we just need to stick to our values and not worry that much about the money. The money will come, but we need to focus on the coffee. We need to focus on building the relationships. We need to focus on finding the right people. And then we need to focus on doing whatever we can with the limited resources we have in order to help them. And I remember thinking at that point in time, like, really? Coffee first, business later. I thought the whole point here was business. Like, I don't know if this is really going to work. Like, seriously, like, this seems like a very, I don't know, are we ever going to get paid? So I think at that point in time, like, I was 100% committed, but I think I would have worried a lot less if I knew, like, what I know now, which is like coffee first, business later, pays off on so many different business levels. Like, it's not even funny. Like, now I'm converted, where back then I was still like, really?
Yeah.
When Peter was like, coffee first, business later, I'm like, Peter, everyone is here for the business. Like,
yeah, that's an interesting one, because I think that's sometimes the challenge, and that certainly when people are exploring networking communities, there is those that are very different, and there's a very different feel. And guys, you got to look at, we'll make sure we always promote the Gostin event, which is our global online speed networking event, to come and join and feel what this coffee like culture is around. But I know that every time I run an event, the number one light bulb that always dawns is the same one that you just lit. I really realized how important the relationship is first. Because, and we can say it in the platitudes, the know, like, trust factor. People do business with people. And you must always, always, always remember, if I don't know who you are and I don't feel you, I'm never going to put my trust in you to either open a door for me, or even at that stage, the next really big one is open my wallet for you. And that might be endorsement, that might be sponsorship, that might be client. There's a lot of different ways to open that wallet, but it never comes unless I know you. And so we often don't focus on the relationship because we focus on the money. But I always do agree, you focus on the relationship, the money follows. You do have to have runway. And you know how you speed up your runway, which you've said is find a good inner circle, find your gaps, partner accordingly, share your vision, and believe in the destiny you're creating. So I'm curious, as you look to 2023, because we're on the fire side of the last 4 months of this year, what would success look like? What's the vision for next year? You starting to see it? What does it look like?
Yeah, we have 5,000 people in the Fempreneur movement Facebook group, and the Fempreneur course has taken off like wildfire, and all of our coaches are like so well known, and we're helping so many different entrepreneurs. And we have all of these amazing sponsors, like sponsoring like incredible prizes, and the newspapers are writing about us, and people want us on the radio, and they want to know like, how did you guys get here? And then we'll just be like, well, coffee first, business later. Like we've literally just been helping people. And I want that story to go out there, because I want people to know that it's always possible. Like no matter at how low a point you are in life or where you find yourself, like now, if you can dream it, you can do it. If you can find the right people to help you get there.
Yeah, know that this is not a solo journey. The big myth of the solopreneur is that you get there by yourself. You do not. It has been my great pleasure to have been crossed stars with you through a good mutual friend. I'm a very proud member of the Explore Protech community and what you guys stand for, what we stand for together. Please copy your details into it, guys. You want to know more about the Fempreneur community. It's incredible. It is a place you want to be part of. It's a place you want to talk about, and it's probably a place that you can accelerate the growth of your business in. So be sure to do that. We'll drop the details into the chat. Nestene, thanks for coming to chat with us on Entrepreneur. Every business owner has a story. Final words. How do they find you? What's the best way to connect to you?
Just book a meeting. We have our booking link on our website, so www.exploreprotech.com/bookings, and just book a coffee. Like we'll have a coffee. Thank you so much for having me, Christine. I really appreciate it. This has been so fun.
So fun, guys. Be back here soon for our next episode, and have an awesome week. We are back in it, guys. It's September. It's time to go chase your dreams for the final 4 months of the year. Let us know how we can help you. We'll see you soon.